Hey YouTube, Irregular here, bringing you all my Cardfight Vanguard Dark Irregular deck profile for standard format, November 2018. Big thanks to my friend Anthony for letting me use his Dark Irregular deck for this profile. It's really a fun deck. Dark Irregulars are the Protect deck from the Strongest Team AL4 booster pack. The whole deck revolves around the main aspect of Dark Irregulars, which is soul charging a bunch of different cards, and then just, using soul to have all your different effects. And the main one is your main unit, the No Life King Death Anchor, which it has the power to just, re-ride a No Life King Death Anchor from your soul, and then just attack again for some pretty insane attacks. So let's go ahead and get started with the whole deck profile. Now for the main unit, the No Life King, I wanted to run 4. Sadly, still only have 3 for this unit at the time being, but when placed, you soul charge 1, and this unit gets plus 2,000 to the end of the turn for each card in your soul. So a very powerful skill to begin with, just for the fact that it can reach big numbers if you already have your soul accounted for and built up from the other cards you use in the deck. And at the end of the battle that it attacked, if you have 13 or more cards in your soul, you can counterblast 1 and put a card from your hand and 3 rear guards into your soul, ride a card from your soul stand, and that unit gets an additional critical until the end of the turn. So as long as you have that card in your soul to ride, and the 13 in soul is very easy to reach with all the other cards you run in the deck as well. The extra critical is great pressure as well. So you just have the No Life King to play off of that, and then also the Imaginary Gift Protect just to play it defensively until you can build up your soul, obviously, and then hit big numbers with this card also. So it definitely does come in handy as your main unit. But for backup, we also run 4 Demon Eater. This card would probably, either this one or the next one would be reduced to 1 just to add in the additional No Life King Death Anchor. When your Guardian is retired, you may put it into your soul. That is her main auto ability, just for being able to, soul charge those cards and then build up the soul. So she's a great first ride for sure. And when it attacks, you can counterblast 1 and put one of your other rear guards into your soul. Draw a card until the end of that battle. It gets plus 10,000, and then you can Soul Blast 10, and your opponent cannot call Sentinels from his or her hand. So the Soul Blast 10 can be great because it's also a Vanguard or Rear Guard effect. So if you build up your soul with the No Life King as well, and then use Demon Eater's guard restriction, it definitely does come in handy, especially if you get a critical trigger and just pushes your opponent at the limit for what they can do with their hand to guard against this, which is a trend we see with a lot of different Protect decks now, just with their grade 3 lineups for their double rares for sure. And then lastly, for the grade 3s, I also run 3 Ghoulish Despoiler. I would probably reduce this card to 2 and put in for the 4th No Life King just for that option. When placed, you counterblast 1 and soul charge 2 and return up to 1 grade 2. Yep, soul charge, my mistake there. I think I might have, nope, it shows the red for the Demon Eater as well. But soul charge 2 and return up to 1 grade 2 or less card from your soul to your hand. So it keeps up hand consistency with that, as well as having the Protect gift marker as well. And when it attacks a Vanguard, if you have 10 or more cards in your soul, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it, and this unit gets plus 10,000 to the end of the battle. So for being a rare, it's a really good, overall ride for your Vanguard, being able to keep hand consistency, like I said, then just having that retire option and plus power as well. So both this and Demon Eater make for good backups for your incredibly powerful game break No Life King Death Anchor, because he's the one that makes all your plays with the restand, because that pressure is definitely needed for sure with the deck. And then you have just these backups, like I said, for Protect, and then just other plays you can make with the Dark Irregular deck as well. For the grade 2s, I run 3 Gwyn the Ripper. This one, when placed, you soul charge 1. Then if you have 10 or more cards in your soul, you can counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and retire it. It's a Vanguard or rear guard effect. Early game on Vanguard, I don't know if you'll be able to get off the 10 in soul to retire, but the soul charge still does work, so you can build up soul when you ride on Van. Most of the time, late game, retire will definitely come in handy to get rid of, needed units that your opponent might have that they want to make use of. And I also run 3 Werewolf Seager, sorry if I mispronounced that, but it's a Vanguard or Rearguard effect. During your turn, if you have 5 or more cards in your soul, this unit gets plus 5,000, and when it attacks a Vanguard, you can soul charge 2. That's the Vanguard effect only. Sucks that they kind of reduced it to a 9k, but that's the theme with the Protect decks, not having a 10k with an effect, but the plus 5 makes up for it, so you can hit against your opponent's grade 2s on Vanguard, and the soul charge 2 just definitely does help for the additional soul buildup. With Weir Starter, since it doesn't have Forerunner, and just being able to keep that in your soul, those numbers will definitely add up when it comes to the numbers you'll need for your other cards. And I also run 3 Blood Sacrifice Ruthven. With this card, on rearguard, when placed, put up to 1 card from your damage zone or drop zone into your soul, and if you put a card from your damage zone, put the top card of your deck face down into your damage zone. If you put a Lucca Lucas into your soul, you countercharge 1. So Lucca Lucas now is going to be playing a key part with a lot of these cards now. So with Ruthven, I'm just soul charging that card. I'll give you the countercharge, but you still have the option of, taking other cards that maybe you don't want in your damage zone. Maybe a grade 3 for later on importance. Can definitely come in handy. No cost with this card either, just because of the damage being the face down card that you place afterwards. Kind of counts as the counterblast overall. And I also run, to finish up the grade 2s, 2 Werebear Verfoiger. On rearguard, when it attacks a Vanguard, you can counterblast 1 and soul charge 1, and this unit gets plus 2,000 to the end of that battle for each card in your soul, plus 8,000 after you soul charge if you use this ability when you have 3 cards in your soul. So it's just good numbers for power boosts for sure, come in handy there. The deck is pretty counterblast heavy, but when you have cards like Ruthven to make up for the soul charge by soul charge of Lucca Lucas, especially like that, you can make up for it. But most of the time, like I said, for big cards like the No Life King, which are just an easy counterblast, it pays off in the long run when you're going for those skills. And that is it for the grade 2s. Moving on to the grade 1s. I run 4 Lucca Lucas, a very important grade 1 in the deck, so maxed out at 4. When retired from the guard circle, you may soul charge 1, and when it is put into your soul due to the ability of a card during your turn, one of your Vanguards gets plus 10,000 until the end of the turn. So just remember it's during your turn, depending on when that card is placed in your soul, so you won't get it with effects like Demon Eater, sadly, which would be a great defensive strategy for sure if it did go like that. But the retire effect gives you a soul charge, so definitely helpful like that with Demon Eater, being able to put this card into your soul additionally. And then just having that plus 10,000 during your turn can really help for big numbers with your grade 3 units as well for your Vanguard. So you can hit those big numbers with the soul charge power as well for additional numbers. And can't run Dark Irregulars without running Doreen the Thruster. For this as well, when your card is put into your soul, nearing the ability of one of your cards, this unit gets plus 5,000 to the end of the turn. It gets plus 10,000, sorry about that, if you soul charge 2. So it covers the 10,000 and the 5,000 individually. So being able to stack up the Doreen as well definitely does come in handy, just for those big numbers, and she's great for a boost, and she can even attack on her own, depending on how your soul charge goes. Being able to hit force units if you get the plus 10 as well solo, or even just for a boost, can cause for big guards against your opponent also. And I also run 4 of the Prisoner Beasts. This card, when placed, you may soul charge 1. This is a Vanguard or Rearguard effect, and on rear, if you have 5 or more cards in your soul, this unit gets plus 2,000. So on rear, being a 10k booster, can definitely help hit some of your other units against your opponent, especially if you're going with 9k Gwyn the Ripper on Vanguard, just hitting for those additional numbers for sure. But definitely does come in handy when you combo it with Werewolf Seager, being able to max it out with its plus 10 for 14 and then 24 in total, meaning you can hit against if your opponent's at big numbers already, especially from the trigger counts for sure. It definitely comes in handy, and a definite for that soul charge power as well, which all these cards, like I said, run together for the soul charge, so you definitely want to benefit from that for sure. And moving on to the grade 0s for your starter. 1 Vermilion Gatekeeper, obviously this is the starter. 4 Dark Irregulars. Love that they kept with the Vermilion Gatekeeper for the starter. For the Dark Irregulars, even though they didn't do it for Pale Moon with the Ringmaster. But standard, ride upon, draw 1 card. And then for the trigger lineup, decided to stick with the 8 critical for pressure. So 4 Blitzritzer and 4 Werelux for the 8 crits in total. Thought about maybe running 5 draw triggers, 7 crit, but I thought with the No Life King's restand, you want to rely on getting more criticals just for that option available to you. And then for the draw trigger, 4 of the March Hare Rabbit of Nightmareland. This card, like all the draw triggers, just standard for the deck, especially just for the protect option as well, to have multiple for the defensive plays you can go for. And for Cursed Doctor, at least they kept the original heal as well, which is very nice there. Like all the other triggers, I think the one is new. I might be wrong there, if this one has already been reprinted or not. I don't believe so. That might be a manga card, but very cool that they kept all the triggers at least original in that sense. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. No, kind of been a little slow with releasing the deck profiles for AL4, but hoping to get Pale Moon and Murakumo out to you all as well very soon. So look forward to that. Until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.